That was
7.0 was the greatest patch ever for offlaners.
I was so sad.
All I hear all the time with the safe laners at 7.0. This run is killing me. Offlane is better than safe lane. Oh, it's a great patch. Great patch, Ice Frog. I loved it.
You don't understand our pain.
and then after that, I lost like 500 MMR.
The classic.
All right. LGD versus the Evil Geniuses, our final series of the day here on this stream. We've got Old 11 already TPing out, getting a good aggressive ward for him. A Void versus a Visage. That doesn't sound like the most fun matchup in the world if he has a little bit of support, but I'm sure he's still going to be able to get a decent amount of farm. We'll see where Victoria kind of ends up. Maybe he's going to be playing the mid Pugna up against Sumail's Earthshaker. I imagine that's going to be okay for the Earthshaker, right?
Yeah,
being
I
a
think
melee
so.
against the range, I don't think that's too terrible.
Poor Man's Shield is usually enough. You know, you have the bonus damage from Enchant. You can use even Aftershock to CS now because it does 75 damage at level 1.
Yeah.
I think Sumail, he's notorious for, like, it doesn't even matter what his matchup is. He usually just does well unless the enemy team is focusing him with a lot of roaming. And this game, you're probably really only going to see Victoria moving around the map. He's kind of the only hero equipped to do that, whereas the rest of LGD are looking at a very static laning phase, just sitting there trying to get what they can and hoping that Ame gets enough space to be able to really get that timing of the anti-mage before EG are able to pressure the map, get their Roshan, and take those towers down.
LGD protect their bounty rune from the evil universe. He tries to snatch it away with the treants, but is going to be pushed back. Top lane, actually. Old 11 was able to challenge RTZ for that one, so they're able to get 3 of the bounty runes. Cha-ching!
Looks like he wanted to try to go for the creep wave there, but realized that Crit's in the area. Not going to be able to stick around.
Faceless Void hates Batrider.
I think most heroes hate Batrider.
True, but Faceless Void more than others, right? Because you time walk, but you don't get rid of the sticky, and you're just still going to be chased down. The support Batrider is really hard to play against its Void.
I think any kind of incremental harassing damage is what Void hates the most.
Yeah.
Anything that you can't just time walk off.
Those 1v1 Ursa lanes kill me. Universe going to be gone on the bottom lane. They slow him down with a Void and get the extra damage from the Ancient Apparition. Failing to actually get that kill, they just turn around and throw the rest of the damage at Zai. Really good use of that first chilling touch.
It's one thing you can't underestimate, just that bonus damage coming in. Even at level 1, it's 50 extra damage a hit. Normally, Zai playing on the Naga Siren, you have the 6 armor, you're super tanky because you start with a Stout Shield too.
Yeah. Now they don't have the chilling touch. Evil Genius is just going to be able to come back and force. This is really reminiscent of that Planet Odd lineup that they ran in Dream League, where they put the Tidehunter support with Gush level 1 with a Furion. It's just a better version of that, basically, because you're running a tanky support that kind of sits on the front line that gives you minus armor possibilities for you to really abuse the fact that you're running a ranged core offlaner with a lot of physical damage, as well as a summon that does a lot of physical damage as well. You're just really abusing this minus armor mechanic in lane.
A lot of this pressure, too, is going to be forcing LGD supports to either sit here, or Ame, even with the Poor Man's Shield, is still going to experience a lot of trouble, just like CSing in the lane in general. The last time we saw this combination, I believe it was also in a 2v3, this time Yao getting the net.
Early ensnare onto Yao, might just be able to get the first blood. They do manage to kill him first before Universe dies here. In fact, Universe is not even going to die. Victoria gives up on that chase as Zai is getting a lot of damage in on these heroes. Even throws an extra ensnare onto Victoria just to get a couple extra right clicks. It's got a clarity, so may take a bit of a break from the laning phase. Meanwhile, Ult 11.
That's
oh
9
no,
stacks.
That's 9 stacks. Crit, is he really going to be able to dive into the tower to finish off Ult 11 here? He's going to give up on it. 5 seconds till the time walk is up. That looked a little risky.
You don't normally see that many stacks.
No.
Like after 2 or 3, you're thinking to yourself, okay, maybe I should just get out of here.
Yeah. Well, that's excellent advice from EG Sumail. Destroy the barracks, then get back. 2.5 minutes in, Evil Geniuses have already crafted their game-winning plan.
I mean, that's why they're such a good team. Personally, I never thought to kill buildings, Cap.
Yeah,
I
me
kill
neither.
creeps. That's all I do.
I kill heroes. I feel you, buddy. Buildings just don't enter into our minds. How's that top lane going for Old 11? He said 4 and 2, so the off lane's definitely going a whole lot better for Evil Geniuses. Of course, they're running a duo, while LGD are trying to protect their anti-mage with their defensive tri-lane as best as possible. Sumail's doing quite well in the mid lane, kind of evening up the CS against maybe Pugna. Pugna very slightly ahead at 22 and 6 compared to 18 and 2 on Sumail. It's actually, I was looking at the CS just a minute earlier, and it's very favorable for Sumail, but it looks like maybe he's beginning to pick things up a notch.
It's pretty easy, I think, to stay relevant and farm on a Pugna, because you have so much int, just naturally, that you can spam Nether Blast. The spell costs like no mana.
Yeah.
It's 105 for at level 2 for a nuke of 175. It's very, very high damage to mana ratio. It's easy to push out the wave. You know, you get level 6, you can just pretty much man fight anyone as long as you're not getting chain stun because of how good life drain is.
I wonder if they're gonna do an early rotation. Say like they get level 6, if they're gonna try and go for like a Furion TP onto mid, just kind of block Pugna in, see if Sumail can get in range of the Echo Slam or something like that.
Yeah, if you can chain stun him, it's possible.
Yeah.
He's got the 2 points in Aftershock, so it's that really thin window where you can still kind of do it, but you have to be like immediately spamming all your spells.
Yeah, I think like Pugna mids are one of the most rewarding heroes to gank in mid lane. Good gate onto Universe here at the bottom lane. A very necessary pickup for LGD, especially Ame himself, as he's been feeling so much pressure from this Furion Naga Siren duo. Gets a little bit of gold back into his coffers because his CS isn't going so well at 17 and 4.
I'll have a bit of recovery time. In the meantime, Zyman with the invis.
He has the ensnare to help Sumail get close enough. He actually went for the second level of Fissure rather than that value level of Enchant Totem level 2. Crit has a gigantic stack up here, the hard camp stack, but Old11 was actually able to chase him far enough away that he lost his sticky napalm stacks, and now he's got some a little bit extra help here. Victoria's coming in. It is nighttime as well. Crit's going to go for the sack one more time, and as he moves downward, they are going to be able to get on top of him. Cold Feet and the Void slows him down enough to be able to claim that kill. Great pickup. But back over to mid lane. Finally, Zai pops out with that ensnare. They're going to be able to close the distance with maybe. That level 6 just doesn't come fast enough. The life drain doesn't save his life. Maybe will die to Sumail.
Overall, a worthwhile trade for EG. Yeah, getting the mid player over losing just a support Batrider, not really a huge deal for them. My curiosity stems from who's killing that stack. Is that a Sumail stack? Because I mean,
I think that's a recovery crit stack.
That could also, yeah, that could also
tough.
be it. He's only got like 1 point in a Firefly. I guess eventually he'll take over the lane. Like maybe Arteezy decides to rotate with his birds, try to go for a kill. Like taking out the Pugna is great.
Yeah, I think going bottom lane would also be really good, just to pressure the LGD Ame out of lane. Good counter kill in mid lane, then being able to pick up the kill on Sumail with the rotation of Victoria and Yao. They just killed top. Finally come bottom. Crit is going to try and clear through that stack right now. Old11's going to come in, see if he can snipe some of it. Especially with Crit so low, he can actually just chase Crit away from a lot of this CS. Goes for the time dilation. Crit slowed down. Firefly about to run out. Old11 does have the time walk. So if he wants to join Crit on that corner, he's not going to be able to do so. But Zai ends up going down. Old11 time walks away from those creeps as Arteezy picks up his level 6.
He's getting beaten to death, Cap, by the troll. It's not the aggroing. It's just beating him to death.
Stop it. Stop it, troll. Crit's at 150 HP. All right, finally it stopped. And he's got Firefly up in 5 seconds, so he could be good. Zai ended up dying right next to his shrine on the bottom half of that one. They are going to go for Sumail here. Big time nuke. The combination with the Echo Slam. Turn around. There goes Victoria. And now an ensnare onto Yao. Maybe is going to try and protect his support, but he takes so much damage with that minus armor. Universe is actually going to go for this route onto Maybe instead, but the life drain, the turnaround. Oh, the nuke. Good thing Zai had that level of the illusions. He was able to get rid of that life drain, and a big hit from Sumail. He's going to finish things off with a double kill. But Victoria's going to come back for vengeance, actually. Maybe only level 2, but the Void, Cold Feet, he doesn't choose to chase.
That Echo did so much more damage than I thought. They're also going to lose Yao.
Yao got caught by the familiars. They came in. That's the beauty of the Visage core. You can stay in lane and your familiars will go gank for you.
I think that's what we call the suffering of an ancient apparition against the Visage.
It is only just begun.
All right, mid again. Here we go.
Chasing him down. Life drain a little bit more. Victoria's going to have to run him down underneath the tower, but he doesn't have the mana to do so. They also tried to go on the top lane. Old11 was chased away. Fortunately, well-placed Time Walk was able to get him out of that nasty situation. TP in for the Furion. Ensnare is going to be able to catch him. Old11 is just going to get bursted down underneath his Ensnare timing. Did not respect the Naga Siren well enough.
He didn't have enough mana to Chrono, so he had to pop the stick, and in the time it took him to use that to try to get away, it was already too late, and he just ends up going down.
They're still chasing Sumail. Jesus, all the way into the tower again. Victoria with the haste rune all the way into the tier 2, but Sumail's just so tanky. That's the big problem with Core Earthshaker, right?
Gotta throw so many spells at that thing to take him down. Strength gain is insane. 3.2. Also gets a 10 strength talent at level 10.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Evil Geniuses have this really cool combination where the familiars for damage, and then they've got Treants as well as Naga Siren illusions to be able to tank tower shots. They're going to be able to get another ensnare onto Old 11. He's going to be able to get the time walk away this time around. Really think he needs the rotation from his team, though. You don't want to lose a tier 2 this early.
I think it's quite difficult for LGD to straight up fight this, though, without Chrono and like an Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. I guess they are bringing maybe in. So if they have everyone and they can get like a good Chrono into a blast or two and maybe a life drain, it is possible. But at the very least, they manage to scare EG off. I think it's very dangerous to let EG continually take towers like that when you're playing with an anti-mage on your team. Like Ame, he hasn't really been able to do much for obvious reasons, but you know, he's recovering. He's back up to one of the highest CS in the game right now. And if he gets, you know, 5-10 more minutes of farm, we could start to see LGD's lineup kind of come to fruition.
Here comes that Furion Visage push once again. This time at the bottom lane, while Sumail just covers ground all over the jungle. Maybe he's going to try and take that tier 1 mid tower, but Sumail's pretty quick to rotate back to mid lane. He really doesn't want to trade 1-for-1.
He can't stop him though, really.
Yeah.
Can Echo maybe?
Yep, Goodson with the Echo does have the enchant totem to get the stun, but the Trapify goes off just in time. Unfortunately, there is still the chain stun of the birds. Arteezy is moving these familiars around beautifully.
That was really nice movement. Having the phase boots there on Sumail secured that kill, like 100%. Yeah. Pugna's very fast, so if you don't kill him with like in the stun duration, you're just not going to kill him at all. And the phase boots allowed him to close that gap after the fissure was cast to ensure that he could get the aftershock damage and the stun from the Echo.
There is just too much from EG. These pushes, they're like throwing too much in the front lines, and LGD really don't have anything to be able to get there. Like, what are they doing? Time Walk, Chronosphere, but they don't even have the damage to follow that one up, really. Not yet anyway, with the Ancient Apparition still at level 4, 10.5 minutes in.
Look at this army. It's just an army of creeps and like birds and trees and illusions, and you can't even look at that if you're LGD. Like, they're gonna go for a trade. They get the tier 1.
Sumail is in position, though, with his Invis rune to be able to catch these heroes, especially with... Oh, baby, are you just going to get comboed? Oh, God! Enchant Totem, it does so much damage. Now they got the ensnare onto Old 11 as well, with the familiars able to chase him down. Yeah, they're going to give up on it. Looks like EG just want to be able to take the mid tower. Nope, they're still kind of chasing. They get the familiar drop. No Fissure. Meanwhile, top lane, they do manage to kill crit.
I mean, a kill's a kill for LGD at this point,
yeah,
which is great, but... This is very, very difficult to stop what EG are doing once they kind of get into position. Until the Ice Blast is online, like Yao needs level 6 so badly. Because they're essentially playing a 4 Protect 5, but their heroes just don't have damage because they have an Anti-Mage and a Void on the same team. Neither of these heroes contribute any damage whatsoever until they have items. So you're relying on your supports, and I guess your mid player in this case, on maybe to be able to supplement that.
They could lose almost every single one of their outer towers before they have Battle Fury and Ame.
Yeah, that's very scary.
And this is what we were kind of talking about when we said before that Evil Geniuses, like, they're one of the few teams that's not actually playing greedier. In fact, they're playing a lot faster in this group stage than any iteration of Evil Geniuses I can think of.
Okay, Sumail.
Gonna be able to catch one here, almost blows up Ame, gets the... Oh, he was halfway through that blink animation, but the nuke strikes him down before he can get away. Arteezy on a dominated streak. Now they're going to be able to get even more as Crit managed to get the combo onto Old 11, plus the birds dropping down the nuke. They just didn't have the damage this time around, but they can still kind of chase him with the sticky napalm. He turns around, gets out the time dilation, but here comes Sumail, and he's got the Echo Slam too. Fortunately, the silence goes down from Victoria. Really quick reaction from our Night Stalker. Does manage to save Old 11's life.
I'm not sure if the Echo would have guaranteed that kill, because he would have only realistically gotten one more spell off, right?
Yeah.
And then he would have gotten silence, so probably okay that they didn't pop the Echo just to take down 11 right there. Still though, EG continually forcing these reactions. There is a Chrono and an Ice Blast now. The only other piece of the puzzle they need is to make sure that Maybe's in the area if they really want to contest this.
It just doesn't seem possible to shoot to this low. Familiars zoning these enemies back. And that's the problem. When you have a lineup like this, We identified pretty quickly, like, they just do not have the heroes to deal with familiars easily. These familiars can just be up in your face constantly and just drop before you can actually kill them.
The Visage pick is coming huge here so far for EG. I think in game 2, you know, assuming that EG walk away from this with a win, that they're going to have to balance their lineup a little bit better, because right now it's kind of like this Pugna turned into some kind of last-ditch anti-mage pick to try to even the game up, and it really hasn't been working for them. Like, picking Void and anti-mage together means that the other 3 heroes in your team need to be able to create a tremendous amount of space or offer a ton of lane pressure, and so far it doesn't really seem like LGD have really been able to accomplish either of those things.
Yeah. I think the Faceless Void Ancient Apparition opening also kind of signals that, right? Where if the laning phase goes bad, like, Void's not going to give you any damage in those first couple of rotations. And the Ancient Apparition will be far enough behind. He doesn't have Ice Blast. So it was definitely a weakness in their draft that they kind of exposed pretty early. It just kind of got exacerbated by the fact that they went for this last pick AM, which both you and I liked. It looks to be a good AM game if he can actually get to that point. And they're struggling to actually get the farm for him. He's trying to take this tier 1 tower to get the Battle Fury, but the high ground push is already coming from Evil Geniuses. Look at Arteezy, and these Treants and Familiars go. Already down to almost half HP on a tier 3 tower at 15 minutes.
He's got the items to frontline as well. He's got the Hood of Defiance, he's got the Medallion, almost the full Solar Crest. Once he gets those, killing him is going to be just... I don't even know if they can. Okay, so this is the way the siege goes down from EG. They have Universe potentially and Arteezy hitting a tower, and then the way that you want to engage is you want to chrono the frontline heroes, but you can't because there's a Naga Siren. Yep. So as soon as the song comes out, your form of initiation that is supposed to guarantee like this follow-up damage is just completely nullified because you won't be able to finish the tankiest hero on the team. Like 4 stacks of Gravekeeper's Cloak, a Hood and a Medallion, soon to be Solar Crest. There's just not enough damage.
Yeah, if anything, that positioning is turned against you, right? You're going to be a little bit forward past the tower, trying to follow up on that Chronosphere. The song goes down. Next thing you know, you're in a bad position in front of your tower, set up for a big Echo Slam or something from the Earthshaker. There's just so much counter initiation while Evil Geniuses siege that LGD, I think, have to go for like the smoke wraparound if they have a hope and a prayer of being able to defend against these early sieges.
Catching the Naga, I think, would probably be the best. Because if you catch anyone else, no matter who it is, you just can't kill them.
It's just, they don't have the burst damage, right? They can't kill that hero fast enough before the Song of Siren comes.
Right. That's the biggest issue. I mean, obviously, if they can hold their high ground for an extended period of time, Ame now with the Battle Fury, there's a good chance that they can kind of, I guess, split push their way back into the game over time. But it's not necessarily just about the Battle Fury timing that matters in this case. It's also about how fast can he get his Manta. Because the Manta could be a stage in where he forces EG to use their abilities suboptimally, and that's really what you need to do to kind of throw a wrench into their plan.
Another push comes forward from Evil Geniuses. Sumail, he realizes a little bit far forward, so he starts backing away. Doesn't want to get caught in the Chronosphere, and lets Arteezy do all the sieging. How are LGD going to be able to do this, especially since it's daytime? Because Victoria, I think one of the objectives of the Night Stalker in this matchup is to be able to get to that back line and silence the Naga Siren, or if you're going on the Naga Siren, silence the Earthshaker. But he just can't get over there. He pops the Darkness now, but the tier 3's already gone, and Evil Geniuses are just going to back up, play on this high ground, and maybe just full on back, but they could just go in again if they really wanted to.
I really like the, I don't want to call it abuse per se, but I like the way that Arteezy's using his birds. So obviously, you and I had a discussion about this on one of the other streams, but essentially the way the Gravekeeper's Cloak works for the birds is that it counts as if you have the same amount of stacks as the hero, which means that they're taking 80% less damage from all sources all the time. So when they're like blasting the birds and right-clicking them, they're just not taking any damage because Arteezy's not getting hit. No one's breaking through the Gravekeeper's Cloak because it takes a minimum of 50 damage to go through one charge. And the tower doesn't even hit him that hard. So it's like, how do you break through the defense of this hero? There's a lot of time that LGD need to buy, like creep cutting or getting across the map and split pushing to keep EG out of your base is really the only play that LGD have right now.
It almost feels like LGD is going to be one of those games where losing Raxes is just more time for you. You know,
It really is.
It's just going to be like we know they're going to take that lane of Rax, which is normally an idea that you never want to enter into for your strategy. But this one, it feels like they're going to take it. We're just about how much can we slow them down before they take that and go for the next one. They're currently trying to take Roshan right now. First one of the game.
That'll be real easy.
Yeah, especially with the Solar Crest and all the physical damage.
This is probably just the high ground push as soon as this ends, or as soon as this dies, because the tier 3 bottom is exposed or dead, I guess.
Coming in hot fast with the smoke. They're going to be able to jump onto Old 11. They'll get the chains done. Will he have to use Echo Slam? Yeah, he'll blow it just to make sure.
That just guarantees.
Yao, get out of there, Yao. Ooh.
It just guarantees that they can't fight.
Yeah.
Like, without Chrono, there's no chance.
Looks like Hero, take Roshan, Evil Geniuses. They're just very quickly checking all the boxes in the to-do list.
The crazy thing about this game is Ame is still sitting atop the net worth, despite everything that's happening so far.
Yeah.
If EG, for whatever reason, blunder their push, there is an opportunity for LGD to come back into the game, for sure. The question is how, like with the way their pushes go, might have to hold that thought.
Wow, they're really committing for this one, even though they don't have Echo Slam.
Good silence.
And Crit doesn't have Lasso. Good silence out. No, and the cold feet, plus maybe almost finish them off, and they do manage to get the last little bit of procs. Force staff forward. Maybe he's trying to get away to Crepify for the extra damage, but it doesn't actually kill that Sumail Earthshaker, and the Ice Blast doesn't land, which might have just been able to finish him off, but no such luck. LGD will trade maybe's Pugna for the Bat Rider, and considering like the net worth lead by AM, there's not even that big of an overall net worth disparity. So that trade wasn't actually like, you know, when you're really far behind, you can actually kind of trade a 2 position for a 3 position, be okay with it.
Yeah, just because the net worth discrepancy makes up for it.
Yeah.
This time it's not really the case. It's more about EG's lineup just is so difficult for LGD to handle with the tools that they currently have.
Yeah.
What they're lacking is items. That's what they need more than anything else, because they do not have damage, whereas EG have the capability
oh no,
of
an Orchid
Orcus.
already. Old 11. Chant Totem, and the Orchid will pop him.
This is, well, I guess he has buyback. There is a Chrono available. I was going to say that could just potentially be Rax since they have the Aegis anyway, and they can just casually walk down that bottom lane and just hit the tower, but you never know. Alright.
The old offensive GG from Evil Geniuses. Quick little mistake from EG, as I'm sure they're spamming their chat wheel all the time. Right back.
Well, let's see. Can EG deal some damage here? Oh, I guess the Void spent his money.
Crit's gonna start moving forward with the Firefly while they're hitting on this melee Rax. Ame's just gonna keep on pushing. He'll TP in if they get a really sick Chronosphere or something, but that seems unlikely at this point. All these heroes in the back. Crit actually gets the initiation on Old 11. They give them to Crepify a little bit of heal, but the magic damage is enough to be able to finish him off, and that just kills the whole entire team fight. There's no way LGD can defend this lane of Rax, so they give up on the idea. The rest of them go back to Shrine, except for the Night Stalker, who's gonna be caught by the Yule Scepter. Good hit by Sumail. That'll be 2 down. And a quick rotation by EG into mid lane push now.
I'm not entirely sure if Ame even TPing home at this point matters that much.
No.
Like, look at this just army.
Back line, Sumail jumps again, catches maybe an instant buyback there. But they're not going to be able to take advantage of the very aggressive stance from EG. They're just surrounding this tower. There's nothing LGD can do about it. Void's back up now. See if he can get the jump in. Chronosphere managed to catch 2 there, especially with Arteezy here way on the front lines. But there goes that Song of the Siren. Does manage to clip maybe at the edge of it too to stop that life drain. And now they're going to get on top of Baby as he's really far forward. Sumail goes for it, actually backs himself away with BKB. Animates, they're going to be able to take down Sumail. He goes for the next one. Looks for Zai. He's fight up. Old 11's in some serious trouble though. He time on forward and instantly is jumped on by Arteezy and the Birds. Now with the drops onto Ame, they bring him lower and lower. He's going to have to fling himself backwards, but Victoria can keep on moving forward with the Ice Blast landing on multiple heroes. Maybe they can actually take down Arteezy as well. Maybe another nuke with the Ice Blast. They finally take him down. That Aegis is gone, and so are the Familiars as the Gravekeeper's cloak ends. Arteezy's going to come back up, but he doesn't have that cloak or not a whole lot of charges on it. But fortunately, the sticky napalm makes it hard for Ame to chase. That's all they're going to be able to get off of that is 3 heroes from EG.
That was huge for LGD to get that kind of defense in that situation. The thing that really made the fight was Ame recognizing the fact that this was an all-in moment. A Manta style may not be enough to keep you alive during that one fight, so what does he do? He buys BKB. 10-second magic immunity, goes in, gets the free auto attacks, and basically anyone he wants. We're going to get a chance to see it again. At this point in time, there was no AA blast to be able to be thrown out. We saw Zai with the counter initiation and the song. And you kind of think at this point, okay, well, EG can probably just run, but they don't. And now they're going to be going for more kills here on the side of EG as they manage to secure the kill on Maybe. No buyback for a full minute. This is a bit of a bummer.
They may catch Old 11 as well. Sumail in range for the Yule Scepter. Victoria's got to stop this Enchant Totem, but he's not going to be there in time. There's even quick with the lasso, so that is another death. No matter how many times you time walk, my friend, there'll always be another EG member in place. Ame not going to be hit by that Fissure. He's really hoping to be able to pick up his Manta before this next push, but doesn't look like it.
Yeah, EG are relentless here.
Another lane of racks is space for Ame to get his next set of items.
Oh, it's so painful that they ended up losing the Void. He would have had Chrono for this.
Yeah.
Chrono just came off cooldown about a second ago. The BKB was up as well for Ame. There was potential for them to defend, but they went out of base and weren't expecting EG to be over across the map that fast. End up losing 2 integral heroes for the base defense, and now
there's a gigantic push coming in at top lane too.
Yeah, that's 4 range creeps. That is pretty spooky. I don't know if EG want to try to force it too much.
Yeah.
What's the...
Wait for... Well, Roshan's still a ways away.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, but it's 2 minutes until we know when it's going to spawn, not just 2 minutes until it's going to be up, so... It does buy time for the anti-mage to finish up the Manta style. That means he won't have buyback, but at this point, you kind of need to not have buyback anyway. If you don't have every item in your inventory as the anti-mage right now to defend, then your buyback is meaningless because your team is most likely going to be dead.
He's about to hit level 20. You get the 15% evasion, right?
Yeah, I think so in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of the time you want stats, but against like the right-click damage, and because of the fact that he has such an early BKB, I feel like the evasion is just more useful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's still that big Enchant Totem hit from Sumail, but at least it'll help him mitigate a lot of damage from RTZ and his birds.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is the True Strike. Even if he has like Butterfly or whatever, that Earthshaker can still just punch him in the face with a totem. It's a lot of damage.
And they've got more Solar Crests. Zai's gonna pick one up too.
I like this move from Ame, scouting things out. Needs to be careful not to get spotted by the bird. Still 10 seconds on the TP.
I like this because if he found the right hero with this Manta, he could actually get a quick pick, and that would really help open up the map for them. But he's not finding it. He's going to have to give up. Scouting those heroes, I wonder if LGD are ever going to venture on the offensive. Maybe like a 4-man smoke behind the AM or something like that.
I think it's probably better to make EG use all of their stuff outside of base.
Well, there goes the lasso, pull back, but Sumail's giving up on that real quickly. The darkness, Sumail is scared of the dark. He runs away from the Nightman.
Were they just trying to force BKB, I guess?
I guess so, maybe. I don't know, it didn't even look that...
Well, the thing is, they had no vision, right? Like, EG had no vision of that, so when they go in and they don't see anyone else on the map,
yeah,
they're just thinking, okay, well, maybe there are people behind him. Best case scenario, we force a BKB charge. Because it still is a pretty big deal. Having a 9-second BKB for the base defense is going to be nice. I suppose at this point, it's already been enough time to where EG can justify waiting for Roshan to spawn again. And then just taking it, because honestly, if LGD can test that, it's a very difficult fight. That's probably one of the worst places on the map for their lineup against the Naga, because it's so hard to catch that hero, or even throw a Chrono and have it be useful. Because Zai can literally stand like on his shrine and still be able to walk into the pit and use Song effectively.
I like the Aghanim's choice next for Ame. You've got a lot of very dangerous single target abilities. You've got the Ensnare from Naga Siren's net. You've got the Bat Rider Lasso. You've even got Grave Chill. That'd be pretty helpful.
Yeah, I like
Block the Grave Chill and get it to yourself.
Normally, I'm a big fan of things like Linken's over Aghanims, but in this game, because he's under so much pressure, and they don't know how much time they have to be able to realistically farm another item. Aghanims, for the time frame that he has, is probably the best choice.
Yeah. Wait, if you bounce back the lasso, you can still right-click on AM, right?
I think it disables auto attack on bat, but I don't actually know the interaction.
Yeah.
You don't think about it, right?
You block the lasso, and then obviously he turns around and actually lassos the bat, and then you're like, but I can't right.
I would imagine
he just right-clicked an illusion, kind of revealed himself with the 4-man smoke. They just kind of have to hurry because they don't want to be losing too many of these Raxes. They're going to jump in now. They actually go straight for Sumail. He goes ahead, Yule Scepters himself up. Ami's still going to go for this round here. They have the vision. It's a little bit late, but they are going to be able to catch Sumail in the trees. For the meantime, the rest of the fight rages on. Old 11 is unable to get off his Chronosphere. So now Ami is in a bit of trouble. He's going to be controlled up heavily by the birds. Victoria and Maybe are still sitting on the side as the helpers to the Standing Mages. He starts backing himself away. Victoria is going to have to be the one that goes down to help the AM escape. And now, doesn't have Pete maybe. Only has Manta coming up in 5 seconds time. What that buyback looks like to be enough to scare Evil Geniuses away, unless they can maybe kill Maybe here. The prep spike does stop a lot of the damage coming its way. Universe still gonna go for the right click and actually gets it with a Shadow Blade, but now Ami comes forward with the Manta, doesn't have the ultimate, and they do have the Song of Siren, so they get the extra kill. They can even, no, they're not gonna set up for the kill on Nightstalker. That'd be risky as hell, so they all TP away. A free pick on Maybe's Pugna, and they'll back up.
That was an amazing fight for LGD. Like, sure, they lose some heroes, but they didn't even chrono. Like, they go in from the side, they catch Sumail right away, they took down Universe. At that point in the fight, you're already feeling like that's a victory, more or less. You know, take away a lot of the trees. You're just trying to really buy this extra time so that, you know, after the Aghanims, you know, you get the Abyssal Blade at the Anti-Mage, maybe you eventually make your way to a Butterfly. Slowly but surely, even though EG has like this 10k net worth lead, if you keep taking successful fights and delaying and delaying, there is still a small chance for LGD to make their way back.
Who is this born-again Draskell that I'm talking to? You looked at it as they were able to survive without the Faces of Chrono. They're going to be able to kill Universe here, so 1-for-1 trade-off. Oh no! Sumail, what happened? He messed up the blink. Wasn't able to get off the Echo Slam, and now, well, Victoria's still definitely dead, but maybe he's going to be able to get a lot of damage on his eye. They're trying to finish him up so they don't have to worry about that Song of Siren. Not that he had it anyway. Ami's going to be able to take him out. Yao's going to be chased down by familiars. Run, Yao, you run! Run away from the birds! Ami, he turns and fights. He pops his BKB. He actually still had that one. He can go for Sumail. He's out of mana, so his damage is not doing nearly enough, and the physical damage for the birds is too much. Ami tries to get away, but no! He couldn't blink out. The familiars catch him first. The attacks are too fast. He does have a buyback. And there is Roshan up, so I'm not sure if Evil Geniuses are going to force that out of him. But a big win there from EG.
Yeah, they're going to throw the scouting ulti into the pit. EG will probably just walk straight in there after the Shrine usage here. That was... It was so unfortunate because the Void just keeps dying before he's able to ult. Like, 11 has not really been able to use his Chronosphere in the last 2 big engagements. At that time, it ended up hurting them a lot. Yeah. Imagine if they had the Chrono, they probably would have been able to finish at least 2 or 3 heroes off, just because of how farmed the Anti-Mage is comparative to everyone else in the game.
What do you think about this Helmet Dominator choice by him? Because that would pretty much be a Blink Dagger, and that would help him get off Chronosphere in these nasty situations.
I feel like he may regret that choice a little bit, but I don't know. It feels like one of those games where, okay, I blink Chrono, but there's an August Siren on the other team. So maybe his justification for not buying it straight away is, this is something that allows me to farm. I can be out on the map a little bit longer. You know, I'm getting some kind of guaranteed value, whereas the blink doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to win the fight. I think at this point, though, after having seen the way that everything has gone, that blink may have been the better option, but I still think that their lineup is at a huge disadvantage, just given what EG has been able to do in the early mid-game.
Ame has given up on that Aghanim Scepter. He saw the amount of damage he took from Solar Crest plus Aghanim's Birds from the Visage, and he said, no. I got to get myself some armor. He's going to go for the Assault Cuirass next instead. He did go for the plus 10 all stats.
Okay. I mean, if you're going to buy the plate mail, then it makes sense to go stats, because it's a better effective HP boost.
Yeah.
And you still want to be able to deal enough damage to get kills.
And he probably just doesn't feel good enough about the evasion against that Enchant Totem.
Yeah. I mean,
and I suppose there's going to be Bloodthorn coming out from Nature's Province.
That guy is doing a tremendous amount of work. Like, given the game that he's had, he's pretty much the one keeping LGD in the game at this point.
Here comes the Familiars. They're Forced to pop Darkness. You can see Old 11 on hard left-hand side here, looking for a free opening into a Chronosphere. Been the problem though, Evil Geniuses, the way they set up, they're really forcing LGD to come to them, and it's very hard with just that time lock, just 675 range to be able to get in position and get off the Chronosphere, especially if you've got quick fingers. Like, you know, they've got a lot of instant stuns, and you also have that Orchid for the silence as well.
Oh, the birds are going to find 11 here.
Oh no, 11. They're going to go for the range tracks instead. Get some permanent damage, and it might just actually get the full range tracks. Familiar start running out of damage, so he's going to have to drop him down. But RTZ himself is going to be gone on. They managed to get the Echo Slam, and there goes the Chronosphere. So the Song of Siren is going to be forced down here, but a really long range maybe pull is going to be able to take away that Aegis from Sumail's Earthshaker. He's in an awkward position. Triple drop from the Aegis Familiar is going to be able to catch Old 11, and they'll take him down. Ame pops his BKB, but is unable to get any real good damage. In fact, the Familiars are doing too much to him. He has to go back to the fountain, and that leaves Evil Geniuses the opening to move forward onto these barracks. Maybe. Somehow has to defend this one melee Rax against these Treants and against these Familiars. Arteezy starts coming forward, roots up Victoria, and with all that damage, fortunately Decrepify, well, it doesn't actually save him because that just increases the damage from Arteezy's Soul Assumption nuke to finish him off. Illusions, Familiars, Ame has to find an opening, and he does get Universe, a big blast with the Ice Blast coming in. As long as it hit these heroes, oh my god, he actually popped the cheese just before the Ice Blast clipped him, so Sumail goes up to full HP. Ame, at half, not feeling comfortable, moving forward, has to go back to the fountain once again, but it does look like LGD have held once again. It cost them a tier 3, it cost them a range Rax. They're sitting on one last building against Megas, but LGD are grinding out survival.
I gotta commend the way that Ame is playing the game. Like, every single thing that he's done so far in terms of itemization has made him able to fight this ridiculous onslaught of EG's net worth advantage, 16,000 in a 35-minute game. That is enormous. So instead of, you know, going back and finishing the full AC, he recognizes, hey, I might not have the time. I'm just going to buy the item that gives me the most bang for my buck right now, and that's the Vlad's. You know, it helps against all the damage that the trees do, the illusions, you know, the visage birds, and all this stuff. And looking forward, potentially into the next game as well, I think that these types of strategies, if they had one less, like, really good pushing hero, say they ban Prophet or they ban Visage, I think that this type of strategy might not be quite as effective as it has been against what LGD wanted to do.
Maybe, or excuse me, Ame has been sort of the rock for LGD, and his item progression was pretty much 80% of what LGD was. But we do have Navy's item progression. He's trying to get an Aghanim Scepter. That will certainly help out quite a bit, as that Song of the Siren has been kind of pesky for him, stopping the life drain. If he gets the Aghanim Scepter, he can just restart it up again after the song is finished. And Old 11 still working towards that Blink Dagger. I just can't imagine he's going to get it before this next potential game-ending push. But I really love what they're doing. They're coming outside of the base. They don't want to let EG be able to get to the base. They want to fight outside of it. Here comes the Ice Blast coming in with the BKB. Timing is going to wear out. They hit the Ice Blast, but it's just not good enough. Song of Siren will allow EG to be able to kind of reset this fight, and Sumail just blows up the Night Stalker instantly. Ame in a questionable position, not really sure where he can go. He actually gets ensnared up by the Naga Siren and just kited around constantly. Sumail comes in, gives him a hit. GG is going to be called by LGD. They don't even wait for the end of it. They see there's just no way for Ame to be able to carry this one out.
The nail on the coffin there, Sumail with the Enchant Totem crit right into the face of that anti-mage. I just think that the way that EG draft right now, like their love for the Naga Siren, having the Nature's Prophet off lane, we spoke briefly about the minus armor strategy with a ranged physical damage dealer.